Back live with you tonight on In Focus, and thanks for staying on. The Gauteng ANC has resolved that changes are needed in some aspects of local governance. It wants to change the executive structures and make amendments to the tabling of motions of no confidence. And for more on that, we are joined now by the Gauteng ANC chairperson, Panyaza Lesufi. Good to have you, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Are you well? I'm
well. Hope you're well too.
Thanks. No, I'm trying. One day we'll all be fine.
One day we'll all be fine. We're getting there. So I've heard others are saying, hey, Panyaza Lesufi has now realized that this thing that they were cooking with TK has backfired on them, and now they're trying to change the rules, change motions of no confidence and whatnot, when they were the ones cooking all these little coalitions that are standing on minority parties.
Not necessarily. When you have entered the place, you close the gate. So we've entered. We've entered. I mean, we lost 11 municipalities.
Right.
Out of the 11 municipalities in Gauteng in 2021, we lost all of them. So as I'm speaking to you now, we've got back 9.5 municipalities. So, I mean, out of 11 to get 9 back, and dislodge the DA. What you do, you close the gate so that there is stable government. So.
But in your attempt to close the gate, is it not going to backfire you, and it's not going to create a reversal again where you're seeing you're losing those 9 that you have now gained because, for example, of players like Patriotic Alliance who have ambitions to lead and they like the kind of arrangement that is existing right now?
Not necessarily. I mean, the 2 municipalities that you can access is Midvaal and Tshwane. And our numbers are very low. But in all the other 2 metros, Ekurhuleni, we can run it with EFF alone. Johannesburg, Patriotic Alliance has just got an extra seat, which simply means that we've got an extra number there. So I don't think there will be any disruptions. And that's why even the DA is not willing to support the motion of Action SA in Johannesburg. And without the DA, there's no way that Action SA can succeed. So we felt that we've stabilized everything. We've worked very hard to win these municipalities from the DA. I mean, no one thought that we can dislodge the DA in Ekurhuleni, in Tshwane, and Johannesburg. And we've done that within the shortest period of time. We've brought back 2 of our district municipalities that were run by the DA in terms of the Western District Municipality. And Mogale City, which was unthinkable that the ANC can get back there. So we dislodged the DA. We won Mogale City, and we've just gone to our summit, and our summit said we must close the door, and we've closed the door.
In the closing the door, you are envisaging a much tighter cooperation with the economic freedom fighters. Why?
We've done that. I mean, this is our, and contrary to what people were saying at the beginning, that other political parties are warming seats for us. Reality is that they're not roaming the seats, they're there. And we've worked well. We had a relationship that we feel that can assist us to ensure that there's stability in local government. So the Patriotic Alliance and Economic Freedom Fighters, together with ATM, have come out to be trusted allies in terms of running a government of local unity. All of us have a lot to lose. We represent the same constituencies. And if you check, when the DA was there, it's our constituencies that were suffering. I mean, the mismanagement of funds in Tshwane is recorded through the Auditor General, almost 10 billion that could not be accounted. You take sporting facilities in Ekurhuleni. Makulong Stadium used to be the best stadium. You go to Foslora Stadium, used to be the best stadium. Now it's polarized. You can't even kick a ball. The potholes, the debt that was in our township. We used to have a city that the president announced called Lanseria. The DA refused to fund for installation of water and sewer and electricity there. And the DA completely withdrew from national government and provincial government participation. I mean, ever since I became a premier, they were not attending my meetings for joint planning and joint budgeting for the province. So we had the responsibility to dislodge the DA, and have done that together with Action SA.
Yeah. But you know what the challenge has been? The Makwarela situation.
Yeah.
And to an extent, others are looking at the Armat situation, and even now with the Commander situation, to say this arrangement is not necessarily giving us the best amongst us, right? For example, to be mayor, where you have well-qualified Dada Morero, who's running MMC for finance, who could be a mayor and take the city forward.
The ANC didn't vote for Kwamanda. We voted against the DA. We didn't vote for Makwarela. We just voted against the DA. So anything that did the DA, we had to vote against it. Makwarela, Kwamanda, or whoever is a mayor now, they're not ANC mayors. They were voted by their own constituencies to be in those municipalities. We had a mayor that had two masters in finance. We had a mayor that tabled budget speech correctly. We had a mayor that was leading us in terms of the same mayor that you are referring to. What happened? People didn't vote for us. They voted out of power. So it's not about who's qualified. It's not about who has the credentials to speak well. We had that kind of a candidate, but voters didn't vote for us. So whoever is there is not an ANC mayor. Our ANC candidate mayor is still Dada Morero. And at the appropriate moment and time when voters give us that power, he will be our mayor. So all those that are there because they were voted by their own constituencies. The people that are mayors ran posters to say, I want to be a mayor. And the people that supported them gave them those positions, and that is why they're running in that municipality. But where we have, as the African National Congress, we have credible, good leaders that can lead. But if you are voted out of power, what do? You occupy your opposition benches, and that's what they've done.
Yeah. And so how do you plan to Kiamagate, as you put it, to tighten the screws on this thing of motion of no confidence? Because, as you say, you've used it successfully to win back and get back those municipalities. Now you're going to make it tougher for yourself to get those municipalities in the future.
It's strategy, and how you use your powers and your numbers. We've got the numbers now. South Africans have been calling for stability in local government. People are tired of these changes of mayors in Gauteng. Now that we've stabilized them, let's lock the gates. And the proposal that we're putting on the table, our people are going to go to council meetings. Every council meeting that we have majority in Gauteng, we're going to put that motion that only 2 motions of no confidence can be tabled by a municipality in a year.
Irrespective of who brings them?
Irrespective of who brings them, yeah. But it must just be 2. We can't just have a motion of, check the motion of no confidence by Action SA in Johannesburg. What influenced that motion except hatred of the current mayor? It's nothing. That they tabled that motion before that person even spent a month in office. So we can't allow that because it destabilizes government, it destabilizes planning, it destabilizes budgeting. So now that we know that we've retained 9 of our municipalities, let's close the gates.
Yeah. And what's the plan with the idea of parties that are 1%ers, or at least occupying solid positions? I was speaking to the Minister for COCTA, saying it's always been the ANC's view, at least as part of a proposal. Now, of course, the DA is bringing it to Parliament, but it's always been something that she says the ANC has been thinking about. What are you doing to those 1-2-seater parties?
Well, we've gone to our NEC, and our NEC has developed a paper which was endorsed by the NEC. That majority, the party that has the highest vote must lead. But under the current circumstances, we've developed a mechanism that we really believe is a win-win mechanism of allowing everyone to be part of a government of local unity. But the strong point of the African National Congress is that the party that has the majority must lead. We just have to deal with the modalities of the threshold, how do we lead. And that is why we support the minister that is responsible for local government to put a legislation that will specify this. But where we stand, anyone who gets the highest... the ANC have got the highest votes in all the municipalities in Gauteng. Yeah. But people decided to gang against us. And when things collapse, they blame us. Whereas they ganged against us to say, we don't want to work with this one. But when things are collapsing, they are going to blame us to say, it's you. Even when they've occupied our opposition benches. So where we stand, we support that view by the minister. The one that has the highest vote must constitute that government or that coalition government.
Yeah. All right, back live with you tonight. The Gauteng ANC chairperson with us in the studio. They've resolved, of course, to make some changes to some aspects of local government. One of them being a limit to the number of motion of no confidence to just 2 at least per year. And the other one is the introduction of deputy mayors. We'll come into that in a moment. But let's talk about this issue of big parties must lead, right? The assumption that big parties must lead, and you went into Eguruleni there and you thought you were putting forward your candidates, and the EFF says, no, we're also putting forward our candidate, and that thing collapsed again, and went back to the DA. I'm asking that in the context of you saying you are finding each other with the EFF. How are you going to sell that to them? Because they're a party that want to be in power, they want to lead.
I mean, everyone wants to dislodge the ANC. Which political party does not want to dislodge the ANC? So even if you sleep with those particular parties, you sleep with one eye open, because if you can close all your eyes, you're going to be in trouble. It was the beginning of negotiations and discussions, and unfortunately that motion was rushed. We cautioned our leadership in that region to say, don't push this motion, we are still in discussions. And when they pushed it, unfortunately, we paid that heavy price. But we quickly closed rank, had discussions with all the parties in Ekurhuleni. And that is why now we are governing that municipalities together. It's not the way we want it. There are still areas of differences even now when we are running that municipality. But hopefully out of discussions and persuasions, we can find a mechanism that can be a win-win for all of us.
Yeah. I suppose you're saying you're going to use your numbers in council, so you don't expect that you will find a challenge. Because, for example, in Nelson Mandela Bay, they tried this thing of changing the model of governance to one that is more executive-based.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. And that kept on failing. For some instance, they were even challenged in court or something like that. You don't expect that to come out?
Well, it's part of our coalition framework that the NEC adopted. We also support that model because it's proportional representation. Whoever has the highest vote will have the highest seat in the executive. But when we are in a government of local unit or government where coalitions are part of the things, you said it yourself, the small parties have a bigger voice because they can move. And the experience that we had with negotiating with them in our province tells us that we must treat them carefully. You must not treat them badly because they move overnight, they're low bid. So you need to have a tact on how you keep them. And the best way to keep them is to listen to them, but most importantly, give them strategic position within council where they will value their participation and they will understand that they're part of a government. So we've mastered that model. And I know other provinces are coming to our province to ask us, how did you master this? And we've shared it with them. But now we just need to legislate it so that it's proper. But I don't wish for coalition governments. That is why in Gauteng, as the ANC, we're preparing ourselves to win outrightly the provincial government or next year's elections on local government. We can't go through these coalitions. It's difficult, it's straining, it's really too emotional to balance the challenges that we face there.
Yeah. Creating an extra layer now called deputy mayors. Why? Why is it the dispensing of patronage again? Why are you trying to get more people to come and eat?
Not necessarily. It's within legislation. Remember, you can decide whether, because you don't get an additional person, you can decide amongst the current 10 MMCs who can be a deputy mayor. So it does not mean that you're bringing an extra body where you can say it's patronage. So we just needed it for purpose of stability. If you have a vote of no confidence against the mayor, he leaves, who runs the municipality? You don't want things to collapse. And also, you know, that sometimes you have seen in here, like Kwamanda goes to Cape Town, someone acts as a mayor. Yeah. And go and
demolishes buildings.
Demolish buildings. So you don't want to expose council to such conduct. So we feel that if you have a deputy mayor, the succession is clear, the stability is clear, and the planning can be executed easily. And that's the reason why we've tabled the motion. But other cities have, Cape Town have a deputy mayor, Nelson Mandela Bay has a deputy mayor. We're just conforming as Gauteng.
Yeah. But isn't it that a municipal manager or even a speaker is supposed to do that, especially when the mayor goes?
But check the trends in Gauteng. When they table a motion of no confidence, take in Johannesburg, for example, they add the speaker. So can you see? So the instability becomes too much. You don't have a speaker, you don't have a mayor. And people expect to have water. I mean, there's no water now in Johannesburg because of the repairs. So there's a problem of load shedding, lack of collection of garbage. So we don't have to expose our citizens to such things. So that is why I felt that if you have a deputy mayor, at least there will be stability. But on top of that, you know, if the mayor is not there, who must run? Rather than go call a meeting, vote amongst yourself, or ask the mayor to appoint somebody and the other party is not happy that they are not appointed to act, only one party is acting as a mayor. So there's some clumsiness. So we just wanted to clean that and have something proper, procedural, so that we know if the mayor is not there, and then the deputy mayor can run the city. So
is that something that we will probably see in the next rounds of local government elections?
From August or so, yeah. We have just taken this resolution. We're sharing it with our national leadership. If our national leadership gives us the go-ahead, then from August you'll see where we have majority votes. We'll be in a position to introduce that.
Let's talk then about some of the areas that have been particularly of concern in the province. You've already mentioned the water. It seems Rand Water is well on schedule with having fixed the 3 sites. It's now a matter of opening up that water and letting it flow. But Angelo, informal settlement, that has been a very toasty issue, certainly to address. Others are saying they have not seen the police. You promised them 24-hour police presence, 24/7 police presence. They've not been seeing that visibility.
3 things quickly. Fortunately, I had a session with the Minister of Energy today. I opened a conference that they've convened here in Gauteng. And in no uncertain terms, I indicated to the Minister, we need to close those mines, shut them down, and hand them over to us. We're prepared as Gauteng. Hand them over to us so that we can rehabilitate the land. Either we can put solar panels for electricity or housing project or put a new soccer stadium there, whatever. But you can't leave those mines unattended. It's a cause of these problems. So the minister assured me that they are rehabilitating some of them, and then if we want to take them over, then they will hand them over to us, which is very good. Secondly, I had a discussion with the law enforcement agencies. Let me be honest with you, Thabo. The situation there and where there's Amazamas, if you think you need the police to patrol, come back, we're not going to resolve that problem. We must declare this as a war. The last man standing must be a law-abiding person. And I've expressed my views. The law enforcement agencies, police and whoever, they must go there and finish the job. Finish the job. And then we have permanently eliminated this form of things. But if you, as you suggest, if you want us to patrol, police are shot at, they exchange fire, they run, or they come back later, it's going to be there forever. These are illegal people who have firepower, who have balkanized our province. There are areas where it's only them, it's no-go area. We can't allow that. Use the technology, use the firepower of our police, use the resources that we have. Let's go there, take over those particular areas. And whoever does not want to listen to law enforcement agencies, the law enforcement agencies must do what is expected out of them. Restore order and sanity in those things. And we've put that to law enforcement agencies, and I'm glad that they are looking at how best they can assist us in our province to eliminate that. So that's the second part. The third, which is very, very crucial, what do you do with people that have lost their children, lost their families, and they are illegal in our country? To use taxpayers' money to reward that, or do we say we sympathize, regardless of the limitations, what we can do? So there is a team that is working with the embassies, the team that is working with the Department of Social Development, so that we can provide the necessary assistance. So there are lots of funerals that are scheduled for this weekend. We are going to play a meaningful role, and the MECs have been assigned to go to each and every family, assess their situation, and where we can, we'll provide the necessary assistance.
Is it a national competency, or is it yourself as the province that would need to do that? Because, I mean, I'm looking at disasters that are happening in Sudan or wherever else. There's an earthquake in Turkey. It was the government of South Africa that said, we want our people, we're going to pay, put them in a plane, bring them back. Right? I don't know what happens in other countries where their citizens are here and they would like that kind of assistance.
Well, it's an ongoing discussion and debate. And I must be honest, maybe let me speak on behalf of the province that I have the honor to lead. Our patience is becoming thinner. We have people that come, we don't mind to assist and provide, but people take advantage of our hospitality, take advantage of our kindness, and take advantage of our facilities. Somebody go to hospital X, use a wrong name, get medication. On the same day, go to hospital B, use a different name, get medication. Then go to hospital D, do that, and in the evening, take all our medications in a bag and go outside of the country. That's abusing our kindness, to be quite frank. And we've expressed that with relevant authorities to say, we don't want to sound as if we don't want to help and provide assistance, but you can't allow this. And it goes even beyond social grants, where people believe when they're about to give birth, they can come to our country in all manner of forms, so that they can benefit out of the good legislation that we have. So our approach is that all these things, we need to have a collective way, national government, provincial government, especially the Department of Home Affairs, to say, how do we manage this? We're investing a lot of money now, as Gauteng, in all our hospitals. That we're not going to trust you, Thabo, when you come and say, I'm Thabo Mdluli. No. Let your finger speak for you.
Right.
So put your finger there. So the finger will tell you are Thabo Mdluli, and then we can be in a position to. But it's an expensive mechanism of managing this thing, because the money that we're investing on this technology is the money that we can build a new hospital or other. But we have to take that particular route to defend our integrity and to defend our resources. It's something that national government must assist us.
Appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming in and spending this evening with us. That is the ANC chairperson in Gauteng there, and outlining some of the changes to local government that they are putting in place.